lot of ways, we're the best kept secret in the information age.
The staff is really the key that opens the door to all the information that's here.
I'm a knowledge navigator, my coworkers are knowledge navigators. We know where to find the information, we know how to access that information.
We can provide that in a snap.
It's a curious profession. There has to be a great dedication to the community, and it would seem a vow of poverty.
It's not easy. Look at all the resources we have. Fitting the proper answer to the appropriate question is a very difficult thing to do, and librarians do it better than anyone else.
In every department, in every company, you need information. And that's where our skills come in. I would probably be getting paid double the amount if I worked in any other field.
When I really have a question, I know that I can go to the reference librarians and they will dig until they find an answer.
And some of it's very simple things that it's just, they've tried Google and it didn't work, so it must not be on the web. Well, we love Google too. I mean, I don't know a librarian that doesn't use Google. But there's many other things that we've learned through the years. Okay, so here you go, Hush Holdings. Oh, they're part of it. It makes you feel good to be able to say, oh yes, well that's right here. And then they'll say, how on earth did you do that?
Anybody can kind of go to Google and get the information, but we are finding, we are selecting, and we are making evaluations, we are analyzing what is best, and that is what we are giving the public, and that has a value.
I've gone to the reference desk, and it is unbelievable the knowledge that these people have.
It really has become an information-based economy, and we see that we're major players.
The phone rings, and it's somebody from Copenhagen wanting to know what a ballet was like in Newark, New Jersey in 1923. Well, maybe that's on the internet. Probably it isn't, and it's our job as librarians to know which computer to go to, which special file to go to.
A librarian is essential. I mean, you have to have someone who knows not only where to look for information, but where to help a child search his or her mind to create the questions to initiate the search for information.
She taught us how to do a search. We could do an easy search or an extended search, and there are all different sorts of things we can do here.
It's not the old librarian with the bun, with the glasses, even though I may look like that.
We have books on CD,
MP3,
books on tape,
microfilm,
CD-ROMs,
indexes,
databases,
DVDs.
Google's not going to find it.
Every media, it's every format that information is stored in.
Libraries are still archives of our civilization, our whole society. And the combination of technology plus old knowledge together is unbeatable.
A lot of people don't realize how a collection develops itself. I mean, they just think the books are on the shelf. They don't realize that you have to cultivate that collection.
We sit for hours and hours evaluating book purchases and our magazine collection, our periodic collection. How long should we keep it? Should we keep it?
There are areas where you might have a subject specialty, but if you don't have that subject specialty, maybe somebody else on staff, some other of our staff members have masters in other fields.
We do need an advanced professional degree, which is expensive. And personally, the student loans, that type of thing, are not compensated by the salary that I receive right now.
What do you do with a degree in political science? And I think dealing with the government is a good way of doing it. And my love of information brought me to get my degree in library science, so it's kind of like getting the information that the government has out to the people, which is pretty cool.
I work acquisitions with books. We research the books and see what the students need, and we order them. And then I work at circulation too.
We're the maintenance crew that maintains all the buildings for the Boston Public Library. We make sure that everything that we have is up and running and being and able to open each and every day that the Boston Public Library has hours.
It's really soup to nuts, from managing a budget and picking the materials to then, the really crucial part is making sure those materials get to the right hands.
You're ordering books, you're processing books.
Part literacy advocate.
We have to build web pages.
Scheduling,
You're designing a large number of programs.
training.
Supervise people. It's a lot of things wrapped together.
I think you also need to use some ends.
Well, some of it you learn in school, certainly, but a lot of it you learn on the job. It's very much I feel like I'm really learning every day.
Being a library director in many ways is like being a CEO of any institution. I have a whole range of activities that have a lot to do with making this organization successful. I have to deal a lot with human resource issues, and I have to be skilled politically. I have a whole new set of skills as a fundraiser.
I would imagine it's not exactly like being a regular librarian because half of it is dealing with the vehicle and the driving and the maintenance. We have to get to know our patrons pretty well and what they prefer to read.
The Flyboys book that you guys selected for me was excellent.
The projects that I've been involved in the last 2.5 years include moving the library to a new site, or temporary site, the demolition of the old library, working with the general contractor, the subcontractors who have been hired to install cabling.
I keep the system running for everyone, in-house and also for the public. We do have computer labs here and in the other library where we use print servers and file servers. There's over 100 users that depend on the system to be up and running.
¿Con eso está bien? Okay.
Yeah, she teach me, and I ask for help, and she's ready to help me always.
So we do see ourselves very much as a community agency that both provides services for people here in the library and also knows the community and works with the community.
Community college libraries serve people who are really here to get a second chance, or you have adults who are coming back to retool.
She have helped you? Yes, she's had. Giving me a lot of information.
Entertainment providers.
Part mom, an event planner, part teacher, public relations person,
Psychologist.
community relations person,
social worker.
Remove graffiti.
Keep the system up and running.
We refinish furniture.
Multitasking, a lot of work.
What it would be worth? That's a good question.
Teachers tend to be paid about $10,000 to $15,000 more as a base pay.
If I didn't live in subsidized housing, my rent would probably be about 50% of my expenses.
When I read that other professionals that get advanced degrees in fields such as computer science, medicine, so forth, make 2-3 times more than I do, then that seems somewhat unjust.
I'm not a mercenary person or anyone who's ever really thought about money very much, but am I ever going to catch up? Is my master's degree ever going to be good for that? And, you know, I really do think about it. Like, what is my retirement going to look like?
Well, the older people who are getting ready to retire all of a sudden find that their income means very little.
There's some other exciting fields that are very similar that are kind of attracting, you know, the brightest minds and the people who have that, you know, that energy.
If I walked in here and all I had was a library and didn't have any librarians, I'd be pretty much at a loss.
We're very committed to our jobs, and we work all kinds of hours, mornings, afternoons, evenings, weekends. You know, it's pretty demanding.
It's a good return on tax dollars.
We are the best bargain in town. I don't know of any other place in the city where you can go to somebody and say, I need help. And you look in the eye and you talk back and forth. Well, you do that at a public library. It's one of the last places for human contact.
People need to be paid a living wage, and frequently that's not the case in libraries.
It's good Monday through Thursday, but once you get that check on Friday, you know, makes you ponder the value of love.
When I looked at my W-2 form, I was like, I did not make this amount of money. I can't believe it's so little.
I think that some people look at it as if you're doing something that you love, that you might, you know, that maybe you don't deserve to make more money.
We're not asking for anything out of the ordinary. We're just asking for equity.
It's time for a change.